Okay, so picture this. You're walking down the street, right? And suddenly your smart glasses, they can just like tell everyone you're walking by like all this stuff about you, like your name, what you do for work, even like your go-to coffee order. Kind of creepy, right?
Yeah, that's definitely edging into unsettling territory.
Yeah, I think so too. And the thing is, that future, that
Mm.
that might be closer than we think. The Verge, they just put out this article. It's about these Harvard students, and they basically made this proof of concept for exactly that.
It's like it really makes you think about all the data we're just, spitting out just by living in this world where everything's getting like smart and connected and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And that kind of brings us to what we're diving into today, Alki Labs. They're trying to tackle this whole data privacy thing, but they're doing it with like a blockchain angle.
The thing that really hooked me on Alki Labs is, well, it's their mission statement. It's bold. It says, data belongs to the people, not corporations. It's like they're looking at how these big tech companies are running things, and they're like, nope, not going to have it.
Totally. And we were checking out this blog post about them. It's by this XR developer and been around since the beginning, like back when VR headsets were like the size of a fridge. And even they were like, hold on, this Oculus Labs thing it's kind of hard to wrap my head
Well,
around.
it sounds like we're in for a real deep dive now. I'm into it.
Right, right. So this blogger, they break down Alki Labs in this really clear way. It's the why, the how, and the what. So let's start with the why, right? The author, they're pointing to this worry that Alki Labs has. They're worried that these huge tech companies, they're basically making this spatial map of our world, and they're doing it with all our devices, our AR, our VR, even just our smartphones.
It's easy to hear that and be like, come on, that's sci-fi stuff. But you just got to look at how data collection has already changed. I mean, it used to be cookies and what websites you looked at. Now it's where you are every second. It's what your face looks like to a computer, like a spatial map. That's our movements, our routines, even who we hang out with. I mean, for companies that want to like predict what we're going to do or even like nudge us to do stuff, that data, that's like striking gold, right?
Okay. Yeah, yeah, you're not wrong. That is kind of scary when you put it like that.
Yeah.
So what's Alki Labs' big idea then? How do they fix this?
Well, that's where the how comes in blockchain technology.
Mm.
It's a bit more nuanced than people often give it credit for, though.
Mm.
It's not just a digital ledger. A more accurate way to think about it is as this network of computers,
Mm.
and they all work together to keep this record of every single transaction.
Okay, so instead of like Google having all your data in their servers, it's spread out on this network so no one can like just grab it without asking.
You've got it. It's way more difficult to access without permission. And the really cool part is each transaction, before it's added to this chain, it's got to go through this super rigorous verification process. It uses all this complex cryptography. Basically, it makes sure that every transaction is legit. And tampering with it,
Yeah.
practically impossible. Alki Labs, they want to make what you might call a public utility for all this spatial data.
Like instead of one company owning it all, it's owned by everyone, kind
Yes,
of.
yeah, exactly. The collective owns and maintains it, not just one big corporation.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. But like for me, just using my phone and stuff, what's the upside? Why would I like want to give all my data, even if it is like protected and stuff, to this public utility thing?
That's where Alki Labs' pose mesh comes in.
Oh,
And that's the really cool part. It's not just about like locking down your data and keeping it safe. It's about you being in control.
right.
Imagine this network where all your devices, your phone, your smart glasses, whatever, they can all share information about what's around them, but it's all like respecting your privacy at the same time.
So it's kind of like all our devices are working together. They can like understand the world around them, but there's like a privacy shield built in.
Exactly. They've got this shared spatial awareness, but with you in the driver's seat. And get this, within the pose mesh, you can actually earn AUKI tokens.
Hold on, AUKI token.
Yeah, so AUKI, that's Alki Labs' own cryptocurrency. And you get it by contributing your data to the pose mesh.
So instead of companies like grabbing my data for free, they gotta pay me for it with cryptocurrency.
You got it. And because it's tied to this whole spatial data thing, imagine just going about your day, moving through the world, you're providing valuable information, but you're the one who owns it, and you're getting rewarded for it.
Oh, That's wild. But reading through this blog post, the author they brought up something. They were kind of skeptical about the whole blockchain thing. They were like, it's a really cool idea and all, but it's kind of hard to get your head around. They even said like, will regular people will they actually want to figure it out?
And that's fair. It's a valid concern. User adoption, getting people to like actually use a new technology, that's a big hurdle for a lot of blockchain
Yeah,
projects.
for sure.
But, it's easy to forget the internet, the one we use every day.
Yeah.
That wasn't always so easy to use either. Remember dial-up.
Yeah.
And you had to like know how to code to even get around some websites.
Yeah.
It took time. It took people coming up with new ideas. And it took making the internet an experience that, anyone could use.
So you're saying Alki Labs, they've got to make this whole blockchain thing. They got to make it simple, make it so anyone can use it, but without like sacrificing security or that whole decentralized thing they're going for.
Exactly. It's a tough balance to strike. Like, how do you make cutting edge tech easy peasy?
But it's possible, right? Like maybe they could team up with a company that's, known for making things that just make sense, that are intuitive to use. Make the pose mesh as simple as using any other app on your phone.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to like reinvent the wheel while they're still driving the car,
It
right?
is a heck of a challenge, for sure. But just imagine, like, if they pull this off, if Alki Labs actually makes this work. I mean, what would that mean for, like, everyday people, right? Instead of us just being, like, these data points getting tracked and targeted and all that, we'd actually be in control. We could, like, decide what happens with our data,
Mhm.
maybe even, like, make some money off it. I mean, it changes everything about how we, like, see technology.
Right.
It's huge. Yeah, it's like we go from just, like, passively using these devices to actually, like, having a say in how they work, how they use our information.
Right. It's like, whoa. Makes you think. Like, what happens when people actually have control of their data? Could this make the
Right.
whole digital world more like fair? Or will like a whole bunch of new problems pop up that we haven't even thought of yet?
Man, so many questions. This deep dive, it's really got me thinking. Alki Labs, they're not just playing around with new tech. They're making us rethink some really big stuff about like what data even is. Who owns it?
Totally. I mean, they might not like single-handedly change the whole digital world overnight,
Right.
but they're part of this bigger wave, this move towards being more open, giving people control, and maybe even like sharing the wealth of this whole data-driven world we're living in.
I like that, sharing the wealth. Okay, so as we wrap this up, I got to ask you, dear listener, something to like chew on. What if we could go back in time, right? Back to like the beginning of the internet and we could like bake this idea of data ownership right into the core of it. Would we do it? Would it be worth it? And what would that like even look like? Just something to think about as you're, scrolling through your phone today. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Catch you next time.